Have you ever walked into a room, looked around, and felt invisible? Maybe you were at a family gathering, or sitting in a waiting room, or even at the grocery store. You've lived a full life, worked hard, raised a family, learned more lessons than you can count, but sometimes it feels like the world has stopped noticing. That sense of being overlooked can chip away at your confidence, even when deep down you know your worth. If that feeling sounds familiar, you're not alone. Growing older comes with a lot of changes, some physical, some emotional, but one thing that should never change is your sense of confidence and the respect you carry with you. Age doesn't take those away. In fact, it should add to them. But the truth is, in today's fast-moving world, many seniors feel like they have to fight to hold on to that respect, that sense of presence. And confidence? For some, it starts to fade over time. But here's the good news, you can build it back. You can strengthen it. You can own your space and carry your years with pride. Today, we're diving into how to do just that, how to build confidence and earn the respect you deserve, not by changing who you are, but by reconnecting with the wisdom, strength, and value that's already in you. This isn't about pretending to be younger. It's about embracing your age and letting the best parts of it shine. Let's start with something simple but powerful, body language. Sounds small, doesn't it? But think about it, have you ever seen someone walk into a room with their shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward, and immediately, they just seem respected? That's no accident. The way you carry yourself tells people how to treat you. If you shrink into yourself, avoid eye contact, or speak in a quiet, uncertain voice, folks pick up on that, even without realizing it. But when you stand tall, make eye contact, and speak clearly, it sends a message, I matter. I'm here. And I deserve to be heard. The good news? You don't need to become someone else to do this. Start with small changes. When you walk, think about lifting your chest just slightly, relaxing your shoulders, and taking your time. Don't rush. When you speak, let your voice come from your chest, not your throat. You'd be surprised at how much more authority and calm that brings. And when someone talks to you, look them in the eye, not in a forced or aggressive way, but in a calm, steady way. These little things build up over time. You're not just changing how others see you, you're changing how you see you. Now, confidence also comes from doing things that make you feel capable. And no, I'm not talking about learning how to use the latest phone or mastering social media. I'm talking about tapping into your strengths. What are the things you're good at? Maybe you're a great cook. Maybe you know how to fix things around the house. Maybe you've got a green thumb or you've always had a way with words. Whatever it is, those skills don't fade just because you've got a few more candles on your birthday cake. In fact, they get sharper with time. So, use them. If you're a good cook, invite someone over for a meal and show them that homemade magic. If you're great with plants, share that knowledge with a neighbor or friend. The more you use your strengths, the more grounded and confident you feel. Confidence doesn't come from being perfect, it comes from doing, from trying, from stepping up and saying, I've got something to offer. And here's the thing, respect? That often follows confidence. When you carry yourself with self-respect, people notice. When you speak with clarity and purpose, people listen. And when you share your wisdom and show up with presence, people pay attention. But let's talk about another powerful way to build confidence and gain respect, setting boundaries. Now, I know that can sound uncomfortable. A lot of us, especially those who grew up in times where you didn't question authority or speak up much, struggle with this. But setting boundaries doesn't mean being rude. It means knowing your worth and not letting others step over it. Maybe a friend or family member speaks to you in a dismissive tone. Or someone tries to make decisions for you without asking your opinion. It's okay to say, I'd like to be part of this conversation. Or, please don't speak to me like that. You don't have to raise your voice or get angry. You just have to be clear. And if that's hard at first, that's okay. You're learning a new skill, and like anything else, it takes practice. But the more you do it, the stronger your voice becomes. People begin to understand that your time, your thoughts, and your presence matter. That builds respect, not just from others, but within yourself. You start believing it more and more. It's also important to spend time around people who uplift you. Confidence doesn't grow in a room full of critics. It grows when you're around folks who value you, laugh with you, listen to you, and see you for who you are. Sometimes that means making a few changes, maybe pulling back a bit from people who drain your energy or make you feel small, and leaning more into those who bring light into your life. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. And don't forget, part of building confidence is learning. Yes, learning, even later in life. In fact, especially later in life. When you keep your mind curious and open, when you learn something new, even if it's just a small thing each week, you send a message to yourself, I'm still growing. I'm still capable. And that builds a quiet, steady kind of confidence that no one can take from you. Now that we've talked about body language, using your strengths, and setting boundaries, let's move on to something just as important, how sharing your wisdom can build deep respect in your relationships and community. You know, one of the most overlooked treasures of getting older is wisdom. And not just the kind you read in books, but the kind you've lived through. The kind that comes from raising kids, working long hours, falling down and getting back up, facing loss, love, mistakes, and miracles. That's real wisdom. And the world needs more of it. The thing is, a lot of people keep that wisdom locked up, thinking no one wants to hear it. But let me tell you something, when you share your experience, your stories, your perspective, you don't just build confidence, you command respect. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. You don't need to stand on a stage or give a big speech. Maybe it's telling your grandchild about a time when you faced something tough and how you got through it. Or maybe it's offering a word of encouragement to someone who's feeling lost. You've got experience they haven't earned yet, and when you offer it in kindness, people listen. Not everyone knows how to handle life's twists and turns. But you do. That gives you power, and that power only grows when you use it to guide and uplift others. And if you're thinking, well, no one asks for my advice, that's okay. You don't need to wait for someone to come knocking. Just be present. Be available. Be that calm voice in the room when others are caught up in worry. Be the one who says, you know, I've been there. And it's going to be okay. You'd be surprised how much people remember that. That quiet strength, that's where true respect is born. Another way to build confidence and earn that respect? Take pride in your appearance. And no, this isn't about chasing youth or dressing like someone half your age. This is about showing up for yourself. Because when you take a little time to look after your grooming, your clothes, your posture, you send a message, I still care. I still matter. And guess what? People pick up on that. You don't have to spend a fortune or follow trends. Maybe it's just wearing a shirt you feel good in. Combing your hair in a way that makes you smile in the mirror. Putting on a splash of cologne or perfume that reminds you of your best years. These little rituals, they're not shallow. They're acts of self-respect. And when you respect yourself, others follow suit. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always come easy as we age, speaking up. Sometimes, people assume that older folks don't want to be involved in decisions, or that they're just set in their ways. But that's not true, is it? You have thoughts. You have opinions. And your voice matters. Whether it's in your family, your community, or even in a casual conversation, you deserve to be heard. But speaking up takes practice, especially if you've been used to keeping the peace or staying quiet to avoid conflict. Start small. If someone asks, where do you want to go for lunch? Don't say, anywhere's fine. Say what you really want. If you see something unfair happening, speak on it. If you're unsure, that's okay. Just breathe, pause, and say your piece anyway. You don't need to have all the right words, just the courage to speak from the heart. And one more thing, don't downplay yourself. So many people your age start sentences with, I'm just an old, or I probably don't know much about this. Stop that. Your life experience is your degree, your resume, your wisdom badge. When you speak, speak like someone who has earned their place at the table, because you have. All of this, sharing wisdom, caring for your appearance, using your voice, it creates a presence. People feel it when you walk into a room. They sense that quiet strength. And that's where respect really starts, not from demanding it, but from living it. Now that we've covered how to share your wisdom, take pride in your appearance, and speak up for yourself, let's talk about how embracing change, yes, even later in life, can bring a whole new wave of confidence and meaning into your days. You know, there's this common belief that as we get older, we're supposed to slow down, not just in how we move, but in how we think, how we live, how we dream. But here's the thing, confidence doesn't grow in stillness. It grows in movement. And not just the physical kind. I'm talking about the courage to try something new, to learn something unfamiliar, to say, I've never done this before, but why not now? Embracing change is one of the most powerful things you can do for your confidence. Because let's face it, change is everywhere. Technology evolves, family dynamics shift, even the way we shop for groceries is different now. And yes, it can feel overwhelming at times. But the moment you decide not to fear change, but to engage with it, you become stronger. Every time you learn how to do something new, no matter how small, you're telling yourself, I'm still growing. Maybe it's learning how to video call your grandchildren. Maybe it's picking up a new hobby, like watercolor painting, learning how to play an instrument, or joining a book club. Maybe it's just learning how to cook a new dish. Doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you're staying curious. That curiosity keeps your spirit alive, and that spirit? People feel it. It radiates. It draws others to you. And the beautiful thing is, when you allow yourself to be open to new things, you inspire the people around you, especially the younger ones. They see you not as someone stuck in the past, but as someone who's alive, engaged, and wise. That earns deep respect. Not just because of your age, but because of your attitude. Now, here's something else that fuels both confidence and respect, and that's generosity. And I don't mean money. I'm talking about emotional generosity. Patience. Encouragement. Compassion. The kind of generosity that says, I see you, and I believe in you. The world is full of people feeling rushed, judged, and unheard. When you slow down and give someone your full attention, when you offer them a kind word, a listening ear, or a bit of encouragement, you're giving something powerful. And guess what? That generosity reflects right back on you. Because when you treat others with dignity and grace, they begin to treat you the same. You become someone they look up to. Someone they seek out, not just for advice, but for comfort, for perspective. And the more you give of your heart, the fuller your own heart feels. That creates an inner confidence that no one can take away from you. Let's not forget the importance of self-talk either. The way you speak to yourself when no one's around, that matters more than people realize. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm too old, I'm no good at this, no one wants to hear from me, those words start to feel true, even if they're not. But if you flip the script, if you say things like, I still have something to give, I'm proud of how far I've come, I'm learning, I'm growing, you begin to believe it. And when you believe it, others do too. Try this sometime. The next time you look in the mirror, instead of focusing on the wrinkles or what's changed, look yourself in the eye and say something kind. Say, you've done well. You've been through a lot. And you're still standing. It might feel silly at first, but I promise you, it's powerful. And finally, one of the quietest, most grounding sources of confidence and respect is having a sense of purpose. Something that gets you up in the morning, something you look forward to. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's volunteering at the library once a week. Maybe it's helping out at your church or mentoring someone younger. Maybe it's tending to your garden or walking your dog around the neighborhood and saying hello to familiar faces. Purpose doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be yours. Because when you feel like you're still needed, still part of something, still contributing, that's when you truly feel alive. And when people see that light in you, they don't just respect it, they admire it. And they want to be around it. So now that we've talked about embracing change, giving generously, speaking kindly to yourself, and finding purpose in your daily life, let's look at how you can hold on to all this momentum and carry it forward with grace, pride, and joy. So here you are, stronger, wiser, and more capable than most people give you credit for. But let me ask you this, have you given yourself that credit? Sometimes, the respect we want from others starts with the respect we give ourselves. And when you begin to truly recognize the value you bring to the table, everything else shifts. People feel it in the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself. And part of that self-respect? It's knowing when to let go. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Let go of guilt from the past. Let go of the idea that your best years are behind you. Because they're not. Your best years are the ones where you finally get to be you, without apology, without rushing, without trying to meet everyone else's expectations. Confidence, at this stage of life, doesn't come from proving yourself to others. It comes from accepting who you are and being proud of it. All those years of experience, heartache, laughter, hard work, quiet nights, tough choices, they've shaped you. And you've earned every gray hair, every smile line, every story. You've earned the right to stand tall. Now, that doesn't mean you have to shout it from the rooftops. Real confidence can be quiet. It shows up in the way you listen before you speak. The way you stay calm when things feel chaotic. The way you treat others with kindness, not because you're trying to impress them, but because it's who you are. And respect? That grows when people feel safe around you. When they know they can trust your word. When you show up on time, or lend a hand, or simply say, "I'm here if you need me." You don't have to demand respect. You live it. Day by day. Word by word. Action by action. And here's something beautiful, when you carry yourself with quiet dignity, younger folks notice. Even if they don't always say it. They see how you move through life, how you handle hardship, how you remain true to yourself. That becomes a kind of role model they can look up to. And trust me, this world needs more of that kind of example. So maybe you're not out chasing promotions or raising babies anymore. But you are building something else, something even more meaningful. You're building a legacy. One that isn't measured by money or titles, but by presence. By how you make people feel. By how you hold your space in the world with grace and quiet strength. And the best part? It's never too late to begin. You don't need a dramatic makeover or a life-changing decision. All it takes is one small shift, maybe standing a little straighter when you walk into the room. Saying thank you with warmth. Reaching out to someone just to say, "You've been on my mind." These little things, they add up. They create a version of you that's magnetic. And that kind of energy? It doesn't fade with age, it deepens. So go ahead, smile at yourself in the mirror. Wear your favorite hat, even if no one else gets it. Share your stories. Laugh loud. Cry if you need to. Speak from the heart. And most importantly, never stop believing that you matter. Because you do. So much more than you may realize. And if this video spoke to you, if even just one thing felt like it hit home, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below. You never know who might need to hear your story. Let's lift each other up. And hey, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here, one that celebrates wisdom, resilience, and the beauty of aging with confidence. Here's to living your best life, at any age. You've got this. And we're cheering you on, every step of the way.